Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have the Indianapolis Colts breakdown today. Let's get right into it. Last season, obviously, did not go well. You ended up, had a few different quarterbacks in there. Matt Ryan did not really work out. You ended up hiring Jeff Saturday as your head coach for a bit. That was a disaster. Third in the AFC South, but it was... the only team they were above was the Texans, who were last in the AFC. They were second to last in the AFC. That's 15th, and obviously missed the playoffs. So not a good season. A lot of people thought that they were maybe a playoff caliber team last year, and they clearly were not. Notable additions. Isaiah McKenzie I do like from the Bills to help the wide receiver room, and Gardner Minshew from my Eagles may start the season for them, and then we'll probably back up Anthony Richardson for the rest of the time. Obviously, I watched him play for the Eagles, and he was not great in some of those games, but he'll be a fine backup for them. Notable losses, Matt Ryan. I don't think that's too big of a deal. Stephon Gilmore, though, I think is something that will be felt in that secondary. He did play well for them last year, better than I would have thought. He's getting older, but he still played at a pretty high level last season. Now, the draft class. This is something I want to touch on because Anthony Richardson is maybe my favorite player in the past draft. I personally think that he's going to be a great quarterback. Obviously, unreal athlete. There's questions with his actual ability as a quarterback. I fully believe in him, but I also do understand that there is a high potential that he does not work out. But I have a lot of confidence in him. Julius Brents, corner out of Kansas State in the second round. I like that. You get Josh Downs, Blake Freeland on the O-line. Adetomiwa Adebawore, you got him later. He was getting first-round hype as we got closer to the draft. Ended up getting him at a much lower price. Darius Rush, Daniel Scott in the secondary, Jalen Jones as well, and a few other nice depth guys down the board there. So I really like their draft class mostly. Anthony Richardson, Adebawore, Brents, Downs, Freeland, those top guys, I think they really did a good job on all those picks. So looking at their opponents, it's not actually that tough of a schedule. Obviously they play in the AFC South, so should be some easier games. Jags will probably be tough, and then AFC North opponents, that could be tough, but otherwise NFC South is not that difficult, and then the Patriots, Rams, and Raiders are not like these high-level teams that I think you have to be too worried about. So looking at their ceiling, I personally think it's like an 11-6 record, maybe even higher. I do think Anthony Richardson could play at a very high level. The schedule is not too tough outside from the AFC North and like the Jags, so I think there is a possibility that they maybe end up winning the division over the Jags. I would probably say the Jags still win it, but I could see them maybe fighting for one of those wild card spots. Yeah, I would say that this is probably would be like my early sleeper team for a potential playoff, maybe playoff run even. I think if Anthony Richardson pans out, this could definitely be a very good team. But I do recognize the possibility that that might not happen, and that is why there is such a large gap between their ceiling and floor. Floor 5-12 I have here. And if Anthony Richardson is bad and maybe they go back to Minshew or they just leave him in there and he just doesn't play well, a lot of these games against weaker opponents you still lose. Maybe you win a few in there, and it just ends up being a rough season. As for my actual prediction, I have a 9-8. I think that you can split, at least split all your division opponents. I have them sweeping the Titans here. Losing out to the AFC North, because that is a tough division. Beat the Bucks, and Saints, Falcons. Lose to the Panthers in the NFC South. and then beat Raiders, Rams, and I have them losing to the Patriots. as well. So I would say 9-8 is pretty good if you're a Colts fan to potentially make the playoffs. Who knows? The AFC is tough. But I don't know. I haven't seen too many people hyping up the Colts that much, and I would say they're probably my number one sleeper team right now, just off of Anthony Richardson's ability to develop into a very dynamic quarterback, kind of like what you saw with Cam Newton. So that's my thoughts on the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think they're going to be good and sleeper team like I do, or do you think Anthony Richardson's not going to work out and they're going to be picking at the top of the draft next season as well? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, everyone.